God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I have to share with you this wonderful experience that I had last evening. I was invited by a very dear friend of mine to go to church. And I have been looking for a church to attend for quite a while now. So I accepted her offer and we went to church. And it was amazing. This pastor, the message he had, and his personality and the way he conducts himself is exactly what I have been looking for such a long time. And I feel this deep in my heart that if I can become a member of a church and get active in it like I was back in my youth, that my life will be complete spiritually. So the message that Pastor John had last evening was his spiritual father had passed away on Valentine's Day. And his story was a little bit like mine. He shared that he grew up in a family of divorce. He didn't have a dad. You know, I didn't have a dad. So right there was kind of like a connection. But this pastor had become his spiritual father. You know, a close friend. You know, they golfed together. They shared a lot of very close personal times. But he said that one of the messages that his spiritual father had pastored one day was that when you die, you know, you have a birth date and then you have your date of your death. And there's a little line in between of the two dates. And he said that little line in between those two dates is your life. And what you do with that little line defines you as a person. So as I sat there and I listened, I thought about it. And I was like, oh my goodness. If that doesn't make the most sense to me I've heard in such a long time. I mean, I was like, and I'm still kind of don't know how to put it into words of the feeling that it touched me, because he shared that little line, if you can make a difference in people's life, if you're kind and you're spiritual and you love God and you put God in your life, that little line will become such a very important personal piece. So when you pass, people will know, they will remember you. And that's how I kind of feel, you know. When my time comes to where I'm called home, I want people to remember me in a good way. I want people to have good thoughts of me. I want people to know that I did everything I could every day to be the best man I could possibly be. That I was a kind man. I was a loving man. That I was a spiritual man. That I would do anything I could for my friends. That I would share and give what I could of me to them. That, my friends, is what life is all about. And then he went on to share that you should give your money away to people in need of it. And that when you die, you should almost be broke. And then he said, you're probably looking at me going, Pastor, what are you talking about? What about my children? Well, this pastor shared that if you give your children the nurturing, the love, the knowledge, and the information that they need to carry on, they are responsible for making their own wealth. Every one of us is responsible for our own wealth. Sure, it's wonderful to help each other out. I mean, I have friends who help me monetarily, but they do it out of the goodness of their hearts. And it made so much sense to me. Because when you die, it's not about how much money you have in your bank account, about how large a home that you live in. It's not about how big a car you have or what size TV you sat and watched your shows on. When you die, the thing that's important is what you did for other people, giving back, giving of yourself, helping that person who needed a hand up, being a loving, caring, kind follower of God so that you can give back to others. Give of yourself, give of your time. I was really moved by his message, and I do believe I have found a church of my liking. I'm headed to the gym. It's leg day. You guys have a beautiful, beautiful Saturday morning. Peace and love to you all. Peace and love.